My name is Sarah, Saturday, and I go by the name Gardening Not Architecture when I play music.
So where did gardening architecture come from?
The band name?
Yeah.
There's there's a deck of cards that a lot of producers use in the studio called the oblique strategies, and there's an audience here that knows what I'm talking about. And it was developed by Brian Eno and Peter Schmidt, and it's for when you're in the studio recording and you kind of hit a wall and you need some inspiration. It's all these decks, all these cards that say these weird different things on them, and they're supposed to help you kind of come up with a way to break through the writer's block or break through the wall. And so one of them says gardening, not architecture. The first producer I worked with was a big fan of those cards, and we had them in the studio all the time, and that was my favorite card. And we drew it when we were recording the first EP, so I was like, that's the name of the band, which is just me. So it's. Well, I started playing music. I've been playing music my whole life, and I was started my first band when I was 16, and I was in bands in high school, and I was in bands in college, and then I did that for years. And after college, after I dropped out of college, I was touring full time, and then I got a job in the music industry working for Warped Tour. So I moved to LA, and I did that for 6 years, and was out in LA working on the industry side. And I really missed playing music, and I just wasn't totally happy out there, and I just realized I needed to go back to playing music. So in 2009, Gardening and Architecture, I took it full time, and I was, sorry, I was just fixing that OCD. I had been writing these songs for years since my old band broke up in 2003. So I just decided finally I just wanted to do it, so I jumped back into it. So it's kind of been a long, sort of winding path back to playing music, but I think I'm back. I'm gonna stick with it this time, probably forever. Well, I'm influenced by a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons. Like I like a lot of bands based on their work ethic and their sort of how they kind of got to where they are, and not so much even about their music. But I guess musically, when I started this project, I was listening to a lot of Postal Service, which I think is obvious. And I was way into Amy Mann. I was way into let's see, I was into early Coldplay stuff, just really melodic stuff. Radiohead has always been probably my #1 influence on everything, even though I could never achieve Radiohead sounding music, but if I could, that would be my goal. And then Sufjan Stevens, Jimmy Eat World. It kind of goes all over the place. I like, lately, what have I been into lately? I can't even think of anything I'm into lately. What have I been listening to lately? You don't know? Yeah, there's someone I've been really obsessed with. I get obsessed with bands for like a year at a time, and I listen to the same thing over and over and over, literally for a year. It's a problem. Mute Math I was into for a while. Mellowdrone. Kind of all over the place. Really for me, like the big thing is who could I go on tour with? I think that if I could go, is this okay? If I could go on tour with anybody in the world and be super happy about it, it would probably be, if I could listen to any, it would be Radiohead. I'm really, really love Radiohead. And I would love watching them every night and just seeing how they pull off all the stuff they do. And then producer-wise, I work with my friends on all this stuff, and that's always like kind of how I've done this project. Like, the first stuff I did with my friend Bo Sorensen, and then the new stuff I just did an album that just came out last week, and I recorded that with Steve Choi from RX Bandits, and I've had a bunch of my friends help with the lights and help with all the stuff along the way. So I prefer to tour with my friends and tour with bands that I know personally. So it's weird, like I don't really have these like big, like, oh, I really hope that I could someday do this stuff or get signed to this label or whatever. When I was younger, I had that, and I really knew, like, these are who I want to tour with, and these are the people I want to work with. And now it's just like, how can I get my friends involved with what I'm doing? And that's kind of the goal right now, I guess. Friends. Just my friends and my dog. And I think a lot of bands right now don't really know the proper etiquette for using social networking, and it sort of turns it into this sort of spam fest. So I've always tried to really take a lot of time and care when I'm working on promoting stuff online and using those websites, and I try to make sure that it's interesting and that it's, got content that is valuable, and if people find it, they'll be happy they found it, and I don't push things on people, and I try to really make sure to take care not to invite everyone on my Facebook page to every single event that I'm doing. So I think that it's great and there's a way to do it, but it still needs to be a one-on-one interaction with people, and it still needs to have a human element to it. And flyering is still important, and local promotion is still important, and really just the best promotion is still human, one-on-one, person-to-person contact, and really taking the time to message a person and talk to someone and not just use the internet like a blanketing spam tool. So it's a great tool, though. I mean, when I first started touring, we didn't have it. I didn't have it. I was like, there was no MySpace. There was none of that stuff. I was still booking tours through using a zine that was published by Maximum Rock and Roll called Book Your Own Fucking Life. And I was calling people on the phone and sending emails. So I didn't even have the internet. I had like Diaryland and LiveJournal and stuff. So it's come such a long way since I started. So I love the tools. They're amazing. Best food? Let's see. I get really excited when I get to California because of In-N-Out and breakfast burritos. I get really excited when I get to the South because of like barbecue and hush puppies and all that Southern comfort food. I get really excited in the Midwest because of all the cheese, and then Culver's, which is like the best chain restaurant ever, but it's only in the Midwest right now. Let's see. I like New York because there's tons of pizza. Anything in pizza world up there, and then actually the last few times I've been in like Albuquerque, I've gone out for some really good like New Mexican breakfast stuff there. So I think that's becoming a favorite for food. I love going on tour and like going out to the local restaurants and stuff for breakfast, or to see what every single region has their own special thing that the locals are proud of. But I definitely get excited about certain restaurants that aren't in other parts of the country. And I love Denny's, and I love Taco Bell. What? Moons over my hammy, minus the hammy. Seasoned fries with ranch dressing. And then usually an Oreo blender blaster if I want to feel like I want to die, which isn't every time. Sometimes I do want to feel like that, but sometimes I don't. Tonight I think I'm going to go for it. Yeah. Well, it started out, the first album is very like electronic, mellow electronic, soundtracky stuff. A lot of people compare it to Postal Service. And then I have a version of the album with no vocals. It's very movie soundtrack stuff with electronic drums and a lot of synths and stuff. The new album is based more on drums, like real drums. There's still drum programming, but it's much more like rock drum based, and a lot of guitar, and then really just like a Moog and a Wurlitzer and organ, a lot of organ in the new stuff. It's all very moody and dark, and it's very soundtracky, and I love harmonies, so I sing a lot of harmonies on both albums. So it's driving music, it's working music, like if you're on the computer working or you're doing something for like a long time and you need background music, it's good for that. I've heard it's good music for making out. I haven't tried that yet because that would be weird. Yeah, let me put my CD on real quick, let's see how this goes. I don't think that would work. Yeah, it would be weird. I'd be like, no, listen to this part. Listen, I love this part. Okay. But mostly driving music I've heard is really good for that.
So for your field make,
gardeningnotarchitecture.com, or you can Google Sarah Saturday, that's my name. I mean, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Bandcamp, iTunes. You could pretty much put in any combination of gardening, not architecture, architecture, not gardening, and find me anywhere. But all my stuff, all my music, all my merch, all my tour dates, all my links, everything is at gardeningnotarchitecture.com. Let the curtain fall. This stage you set